Hi, my name is Barry and I'm with Insul-Quilt. Today we are going to be talking about what is Insul-Quilt. The three specific topics we'd like to review today are sound absorption, safety of the Insul-Quilt product, and other features and benefits. But first, the way to get in touch with us is at info@insulquilt.com or our 800 number 833-533-6444. So to begin, Insul-Quilt is an acoustical treatment, and acoustical treatment products are necessary for improving the quality of our hearing in life so we can enjoy life, engage with others, connect, and hear the things that are most important to us. So, how does Insul-Quilt blankets control sound in spaces? Through sound absorption. And today we're going to show you how the blankets actually look and work. To begin, I have samples of both our white and black blankets here in front of me with the 12-stitch pattern, and it has a quite elegant and pillowy look, very distinguished look. And the product is primarily made of three different materials. To begin, we have a very porous cloth that is used. And the reason we have a porous cloth to begin on the top of our blankets is sound travels at roughly 1,125 feet per second or 771 miles an hour. That's a lot of energy moving in one direction. And in order for the sound blanket to absorb the sound energy, it has to be able to get into the blanket. And that's why we use a very porous cloth. Secondly, in the blanket itself, we have a level of very thick insulation that pillows tremendously as we cut open the top cloth layer. And the blanket will expand up to 4 or 5 inches thick once we cut it. It is sewn nominally 2 inches for insulation purposes, but we have a lot of insulation, sound insulation capacity in the blanket. How much does the blanket absorb in sound? Well, approximately 95% of all sound energy that's hitting the blanket is absorbed and stays with the sound blanket. And it has an NRC rating of 1.00, which is about as high a rating as you can get for a sound attenuation blanket. What does the actual insulation do in the blanket? It diverts, diffuses, and deflects sound waves so that they get distributed within the blanket and held in the blanket and not released. So we have the porous cloth layer, the layers of thick sound insulation, and then the very bottom layer is an aluminum-faced material that provides us for two different purposes. One is it provides us for structure in holding and mounting the blanket, and secondly, it provides us what we call a radiant barrier, which we will discuss here in several minutes. The product itself weighs about a half a pound per square foot, which is roughly equal to 3 or 4 apples in weight. It also is made in 4-foot wide sections, and the standard length is 16 feet. And that standard length only weighs 25 pounds, but covers 64 square feet. And now we are going to talk about the second topic today, which is safety of the Insul-Quilt blanket. The Insul-Quilt blanket is a Class A flame and smoke rated product. It is also rated for indoor use in the European community as well as the United Kingdom and used worldwide. It is also VOC certified compliant and is 50% recycled material by weight. And so how safe is Insul-Quilt blankets against fire? Here's an example. I have a torch here, and we're going to first heat up the white blanket. As you can see, it turns red hot, but doesn't necessarily catch on fire. This is done in actually a testing lab to determine that. We also have a black blanket sample here as well to flame test. And again, all you will see is red hot insulation and cloth covering. Does not catch on fire. Now, this Class A rating is important because, as you can see, it resists the blanket from lighting on fire. And why that is important is several reasons. One is the blankets are typically used to line the walls and ceilings in most filming studios. That is what's exposed if there's a fire within the studio. And if there's a fire and it approaches the blankets, they will not burn. In fact, the wall will be protected as well as primarily the rest of the structure, as long as the flame does not hit or get behind the blankets. And secondly, it is very difficult to obtain a Class A rating for a product like this. And we are very proud that with the raw materials that we've used, the 3 different layers, that we have obtained that certification, and we continue to have that level of flame protection for our customers. So if you're in the market for a sound control or sound attenuation blanket, please know that it should be a Class A rating, and if it's not, and you're in the market for a blanket, you may want to consider what you're using. So let's talk about the third topic today of the Insul-Quilt blanket, and that is the features and benefits. It is quite self-evident that filming studios around the world have used our product for over 58 years because of the sound control qualities our product has. But where else can you use Insul-Quilts in your day-to-day application? Where and how are our products used? So for example, many all-purpose spaces will use our product. Entertainment locations will use our product. Industrial applications or warehouses for controlling sound coming off of equipment will use our product. Putting our blankets on top of suspended ceilings in offices where they try to control sound coming into the office for quiet space is a common use. There's also an application that is widely utilized called a plenum barrier, which basically extends the ceiling walls up to the deck above, the roof above, and controls sound moving through office space above the offices. So one of the features I talked about earlier is the radiant barrier aspect of the back side of the blanket. And what the radiant barrier actually does is it blocks 97% of radiant heat from entering the space. And if you mount the blanket on the wall, which typically people do, or ceiling, if you have heat coming through the wall, it'll block 97% of that heat from entering the building, which is very important when you're trying to cool or heat large spaces. Secondly, the product has an R value of roughly 9, an insulating value of 9, which is really equivalent to about 4 inches of blown insulation into your attic space, just as a point of reference. And lastly, the sound blocking capacity, which this blanket actually has, is rated as an STC of 16. And what that means is how much sound can enter the blanket and come out the backside in terms of blocking capacity. And with an STC value of 16, approximately 10 to 12 decibels are blocked as it comes out of the blanket, or if you have sound trying to come through the blanket on the backside, it blocks about 12 decibels as well. So it's very important to have both sound absorption and sound blocking within the blanket. Lastly, one of the best features about this product is it's very easy to install. You can cut it in place. You can attach it to the walls with screws and washers. You can fold it, you can tuck it, you can mold it around different spaces and corners. In our next video, we're going to be talking about how to install and the techniques and hardware to mount our blankets where you have the most effective and efficient use of our sound control product. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this information brought you some value today or some ideas on how you can use Insul-Quilts. If you have any questions about Insul-Quilts, please put it in the comments below and we'll see you on the next video.